So I have my essay all done. Now what? No need to panic, I've planned a fantastic mini lesson for you to watch. So find someplace to sit and get ready to learn. We've been working on our argument essays, and there's some things you'll need to have done before you're ready to try this lesson. For starters, make sure you have a strong introduction written that really introduces what your piece is going to be about. Second, third, and fourth, you should have 3 well-supported body paragraphs where you bring forth all the evidence you have to support your opinion. Next, you should show that you've thought about the other side of the argument in a counter-argument paragraph. Finally, leave your reader with a strong, lasting impression by concluding in a unique way. When you have these things done, it's time to really push ourselves to make sure that we've not only checked those things off the list, but also done each of them really well. So here's what we're going to do. Today you're going to highlight your writing to make sure you have all the parts and revise in the places that you find you don't. Here's the introduction paragraph to a 7th grader's argument about pets being allowed in the classroom. They start off with some statements and then end with a thesis. Carefully read your introduction paragraph. Pick a color to highlight your thesis statement with. Your thesis should include your stance on the topic and the 3 reasons that you're going to use to support your statement with evidence. Next, move to your first body paragraph. You'll need to use 3 colors to highlight each of the body paragraphs. The first thing you should highlight is the topic sentence that matches what you said you were going to talk about first in your thesis statement. Next, pick a new color and carefully read your paragraph, looking for your 3 specific pieces of evidence that you've used to support the idea introduced at the start of that paragraph. Highlight these pieces of evidence in a different color. Finally, read each sentence that you haven't highlighted yet. Is it glue that's holding the paragraph together? Is it other statements that don't really belong there? If it's glue, highlight it, because that definitely wants to be kept. If it's other things that you aren't quite sure about, leave it unhighlighted so that you remember to go back and rethink about those parts later on. Do the same thing with your other 2 evidence paragraphs. Start by highlighting the topic sentence in one color and the evidence statements in a different color. Then look at all of the unhighlighted sentences and decide, is this gluing it together? In which case I should highlight it, or is this maybe not working in this paragraph and I should leave it unhighlighted so I can reevaluate it later on. You can use the same highlighting pattern to go through your counter-argument paragraph, remembering that your topic sentence for a counter-argument should look different than the ones in your evidence paragraphs. Your counter-argument should start with something like, some people think, or it may be believed, and then work to prove why that belief isn't always true. Now look at your conclusion. Read your conclusion thinking, have I made this interesting in a way that really drives it home for my reader? Highlight where you've restated your thesis to remind your reader exactly what your essay was about and the 3 strong paragraphs that you wrote in support of your stance. Done? I hope that's a joke. This process is just getting us ready to revise. Start at the beginning of your paper. Look at your introduction. Have you pulled the reader in the sentences leading up to your thesis? Is there more that you need to add, or have you adequately introduced your piece? Make revisions as you go so that your introduction is now exactly how you want it to be. Carefully read each body paragraph. Look at the way you've highlighted it. Does every body paragraph have a sentence in the beginning that introduces what it's going to be about? Do you have a good amount of evidence used throughout your paragraph, represented in green in my paragraph? I notice I only have one glue sentence highlighted in yellow. It's possible that I'm going to need more glue to make this paragraph flow from beginning to end. At this point, I could go back and add those yellow sentences throughout so that my body paragraphs are a good balance between evidence and the glue holding them together. I also see a sentence here that I haven't highlighted at all. I need to think about why I included that sentence in the first place, and does it still deserve to be in there now that I'm at the revision phase of my argument essay? I might need to edit the sentence slightly to make it fit better, or delete it completely if it no longer makes sense. I do this with each of my body paragraphs and my counter argument, making sure that it flows well beginning to end, and that I modify where needed. This paragraph I notice doesn't have any glue in the middle, but has some at the end. I might want to think about what glue could I add to the middle of this paragraph to help it flow better and to help my reader follow my ideas. Finally, when you get to the conclusion of your argument, you'll want to take a look at, have I really wrapped it up well for my reader? Have I left them with something to think about? Are they really going to remember what my main points were and what I said in my paragraphs? Remember, revision isn't the same as editing. We're looking at the heart and the ideas in our essay and making sure they align with what we want to say and what we want to defend. If you think your essay is done, please follow these steps today and do some revision work to make it even better.